Welcome to Gamepad Saga Podcast. I'm Eric.
Kishion.
And how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right. It's been a while.
It sure has.
Had a little bit of a hiatus.
Yes. And now a word from our sponsor.
You know what, brother? I'm going to invest in Don Pepe X.
Don Pepe X? What is that?
Don Pepe X is the next AI trading revolution in crypto.
Crypto? Huh. I guess that is the wave of the future, huh?
Yes. You know what Don Pepe X is?
No, what is Don Pepe?
Don Pepe X is an advanced AI trading agent powered by Satoshi's Mind AI and is built on the Virtuals protocol, a next-gen AI blockchain ecosystem running on Base Chain, the Layer 2 blockchain developed by Coinbase and secured by Ethereum.
What makes Don Pepe X so different compared to the other crypto competitors out there?
Well, great that you asked that. AI-powered trading intelligence is one of the things Don Pepe X has. Also, base chain security, transparent and safe, high growth potential, and also premier AI agent.
And why should we use them now?
The AI agent narrative is the hottest trend in crypto right now, and Don Pepe X is positioned to be the leader in this space.
Oh, that sounds very promising. I'm going to have to check them out.
Yeah, man. If you want to be ahead of the curve, Don Pepe X is the AI-powered edge in the financial market.
All right. And where can I get additional information?
You can get it from Don Pepe's Twitter page. We'll have the link in the description below.
Perfect. I'm heading right there now.
I know at the beginning of our podcast sounded a little different. It's because now we are sponsored by Don Pepe X.
Yes.
One of the newly greatest cryptocurrencies out there with AI trading.
So make sure you check it out. Crypto is the wave of the future.
Check it out on the Podbean.
So what we getting into today?
Well, first I got a story to tell you.
Oh, we love stories here.
Yes, it's a work story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about bottom of a cup tequila and one beer in so far. Or one sip of beer in so far. So we're feeling good. So my boy B, I got his blessing today, so I can tell some of these stories. So I work with him at the hospital, and we work weekends together. So it's usually me and him as the anesthesia techs. And this man, little small Jewish guy, probably maybe 5'5", something like that. And I don't know, when I first met him, when he trained me, it was on a Tuesday. I was during my orientation last year. And we just clicked.
Right.
He taught me a lot of stuff that day, and just, I don't know, just some just about him. We just bonded right together. And so I go to bat for that man all the time. So
it's always awesome how that works.
Yeah, it is. So today, God, I'm trying to remember the story because I was dying so hard. So the first story I'll tell you, it was one weekend where he was coming in. He was coming in and he said to me, he goes, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me today." And I was like, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, I started my car and it started making this loud noise." Wah. And then I was like, okay. But I mean, that happens when it's cold out. He goes, "Well, I think I was trying to I don't know. I was reaching for something." I was like, "Well, what were you reaching for?" He goes, "I don't know. I was just reaching." And then my nose started bleeding.
What? Talk about getting your day started. Holy cow.
So his nose is bleeding, reaching for whatever he's reaching for. His car is backing
squealing
out. He's like, "No, wait. Stops the car, puts it in park.
Yeah.
And so he's getting his nose together. He's like, "I don't know what's wrong with this noise." And so he gets out the car. He's looking at the car. He's got the hood on. He's like, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on holding his nose. So, I mean, you can't make that up. You really can't. And then he told me a story today, actually. It was really funny. So he's like, "I hated everything. I hated everything food-wise. I didn't like vegetables. I didn't like meat. I hated steak." I was like...
Just that day or growing up? Or
Growing up.
Okay.
Growing up. Sorry. So, but that whole thing with the nosebleed happened a couple weeks ago. Can't make it up. You just can't. So...
I don't know if he's going to be able to get this story.
So he said, "Yeah, I hated everything. Didn't like vegetables, didn't like steak, didn't like potatoes." I'm like, "Man, what type of kid were you?" And then I thought to myself, yes. So So he goes, yeah, so the dog. So my plan was I always ate my food, I chewed it up, and then I gave it to the dog. Because I like spit it in a napkin and gave it to my dog. I was like, okay, all right, cool. He goes, I got found out one day because the dog was choking on the step. I said to him, I was like, oh, I know you were mad at that dog. I know you were pissed. Immediately upset at that dog.
What's the dog choking on? How did he get a steak?
Just like chunks of steak all over the place. It was like, he said he had green carpet, so it was like green peas like blending into the carpet. I was like, oh, I know you were pissed at that dog. You were upset. Oh man, he was sick. He was sick for sure.
But what about the dog? Dog okay? Dog survived.
The dog did survive.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. The dog did survive, but I think B put too much faith in that dog.
Here, get rid of the evidence.
There was no way that dog wasn't going to be overzealous at one point.
Right. It's like, ooh.
But B, I blame you for not making your steak pieces smaller.
Right.
Or giving it a steak to begin with. But I love you though. But yeah, B, he's awesome. I love that, man.
Good. So yeah, I guess we'll just switch it up today. I found a trailer popped into my YouTube feed. It's a video game called Mindseye. Mm-hmm. And apparently this is from one of the former Rockstar Games producer, Leslie Benzies. Hope I pronounced the last name correctly.
Spell it.
Benzies. Figured I would have looked up on all these Rockstar
Benzies. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Developers. But yeah, guess it's like a GTA-like game. It's arriving June 10th. It is developed by Build a Rocket Boy Games. I've never heard of them before.
They might be a new thing? IP or a new company.
So we're dropped off in, I guess, Red Rock City. And I guess, it's like a little desert metropolis. AI is everywhere because, AI is the future, taking over everything. I guess there's this, cutting edge technology out there. Mm-hmm. And then our protagonist, Jacob Diaz, he is a former soldier. And I guess he has the Mindseye neural implant. And I guess it's plaguing him and he's getting these weird memories.
Like somebody else's?
Yeah, I guess. The trailer didn't show much.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing, I think it was the latest PlayStation showcase or direct or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting.
And to clarify, Build a Rocket Boy Game Studio actually started this year.
Oh, okay.
They have a copyright of 2025.
And they already got a game. We're getting this before we get GTA 6, y'all.
Hey, look. All I'm saying is this. All right. I'm sick of y'all saying, when we get GTA 6, just wait for the goddamn game to come out, please.
Ready when it's ready.
Yeah.
So.
And then you're going to love it when it comes out. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, we're all going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, right.
There's rumors out there. Oh, they're going to charge $100 for it. Well, we're already doing that already with these pre-orders and
the deluxe edition and stuff. Well, here's my thing, right? I mean, looking back, games were that price anyway.
Right. We just didn't know because it just showed up one day.
Right. We got it for either Christmas or we did good in school, so we got it. Yeah. A lot of these games, especially N64 games range from like $40 to $70, depending on the title.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I figured since we have adult money, it wouldn't matter. But
yeah. Well, we don't have fuck you money, but we do have adult money.
Yeah. Going back to the Mindseye, I guess his fight to find the truth pits him against both the government and big tech. I guess it's in a future setting with current world issues, I guess, or ideas, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it looks very interesting. I do plan on checking it out.
Yeah, it sounds like a good game. It looks like a good game from what I've seen.
Hopefully it is. I know previously I mentioned, PlayStation, Xbox, no one had any games, but I think 2025 is the turnaround year. I think we're going to get a bunch of good games.
Yeah, I've seen some games like Sony-wise and Xbox-wise that they're going to be getting some good stuff. I know Xbox, when they had their direct, it was Ninja Gaiden 4 for me.
Okay.
I was like, oh, yes. Yes. So I kind of been going through the lore. I got the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection on my Steam right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't bought yet, but I'm going to get that. And then the new Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. So I'll probably get that too and run through those games before that game comes out.
Right. So, brother, have you heard of, I guess it's Enzoi?
Who?
Inzoi? It was a game that came out of nowhere. I guess it's like The Sims, another life simulator game.
No, I've never heard of that. Is it like Second Life?
That's what I was thinking. Like it went a little more detail beyond what The Sims did.
Oh, so let me see.
But just a game that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, kind of looks like The Sims, like you said. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, it's on PlayStation, Xbox, Microsoft. So it's on Steam.
Nowhere. I didn't even know this was a thing even happening.
So when did you discover this?
Yesterday.
You whore.
Yeah, Papa was like, oh, what is everyone talking about here? What is this?
Enzoi.
Yeah, you can create characters, tools, social interactions. Yeah, like Second Life or...
So this is like the advanced version of The Sims.
Yeah.
And we actually have a episode coming up that we're going to be talking about The Sims pretty soon here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, this looks really good actually. Now that I'm looking at it. So this is what The Sims wanted to be, really, to be honest.
Yeah. But you know, where did they... Well, they started on PC. I wonder what... Oh, it was probably Maxis.
Yeah,
Maxis. Remember how big Maxis was with SimCity, with SimCopter.
Oh, I remember SimCopter. What the fuck? I remember SimCopter. I remember you played the hell out of that game.
Oh, yeah, it was fun.
It was. I mean, you could build your city from SimCity. Was it SimCity 2000 or something like that?
I want to say it was, yes.
And then you could actually like get in your SimCopter into the city you built.
This is what? Early 2000?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
amazing.
Like 99, 2000, something like that, 2001.
Let's go back and double check.
Yeah, I think it was around. SimCopter came out in 2000. SimCity been around for years though.
Mm-hmm.
Like 98, I think it came out on PC.
Yes,
something like that.
Oh wow, SimCopter 96.
When did SimCity came out? It had to come out early. That had to be 94, 95.
2000.
Oh, 2000, of course.
No. The game, it was called SimCity 2000.
Oh, yeah.
That was released in 1993.
Okay. So SimCity 2093, first off, why the fuck would you call it SimCity 2000 when it came out in 1993? And then secondly, SimCopter came out in 96. Now, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Do you remember the things you could do in that game? I know you could like rescue people. You can transport people,
rescue people, put out fires, disrupt large crowds.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pick up injured people off of buildings on the ground.
Yeah, people were insane in that game for real. Like, what are you doing up here on this like 20,000 foot skyscraper right now? Yeah, SimCopter, that was a good throwback. Definitely. I remember sitting there watching you play that for hours. That was a really good game.
I gotta find a way to see what I can play it on now.
I mean, probably could emulate it, to be honest with you.
That's true.
Find a way. Like I said, pirate. I don't care. If someone thinks I am a bad influence, I don't give a damn, pirate. Because these companies are not preserving games anymore. They're not. And if they are, they're preserving digital, and that does not mean that you can keep them forever.
Correct.
So, just a reminder. Just a note. Just a note. But yeah, so Enzoi, you said? It looks really good.
Yeah, I thought so.
Did you get a release date on that?
It's out now.
Actually?
Yeah. Let me double check here.
We might be doing some research here shortly.
Let me double check. Yeah. March 27th. Yesterday, right?
I might have to look into that.
Thursday.
Might have to look into that. That sounds really good. But yeah, so since we're talking about games, let's go into the Switch Direct that came out the other day. So not only did they have a Switch Direct, but now we have a Switch 2 showcase next week, Wednesday.
Oh, so they still haven't showed it off yet? I thought
No,
they already showed it
no,
off.
they had a direct with games.
Okay.
They did not have the direct for.
So they just acknowledge that, hey, this is coming.
Yeah, they got some games coming out now that I'm pretty excited for. Like Shadow Labyrinth is one. Really cool thing that I thought. Anyway, They got Dragon Quest 1 and 2 for the Switch. So, I mean, the first Switch isn't dying. Just because the Switch 2 is coming out does not mean that the Switch 1 is going to be obsolete.
Right.
And then, obviously, if you do get a Switch 2, the Switch 1 games will be able to be played on it.
Oh, good.
You know, I think a lot of these Switch 2 games are going to be the newer games, but just, you know, not as upscaled. You know, especially a lot of the other PS4 games that, you know, a lot of people would probably want on the Switch, like maybe like the open world Assassin's Creeds. If you know, it's the linear Assassin's Creeds that are on the original Switch right now.
Are they?
Yeah, so it's the Rebel Collection. So it was like Unity, Black Flag.
That is the only Assassin's Creed that I played.
What, Black Flag? That was the best one anyway.
Okay.
The best linear one anyway.
Linear one. Okay.
Right now they got Shadows out. I was going to buy that, but priorities. You know how that is.
Yeah,
we all know how that is. Being
sure
in our
do.
30s and 40s, and whomever's listening out there having to pay bills and such. But they did come out with a few surprises. Like I said, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remastered. I have my Suikoden came into the game store. I haven't picked it up yet. And Suikoden, I think, is 1 and 2 remastered as well. Shadow Labyrinth is another one that I'm pretty excited about. It's the Metroidvania that has Pac-Man in it. Yeah. So there's that. And then, you know, I don't know how I feel about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
That is another game I saw pop up, or at least like the logo. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because there was a Metroid Prime 4 before, correct?
I'm not sure. Let's
double check that, because I believe Metroid Prime.
Like it wasn't like a remaster that they did?
No. I want to say there was one that came out on GameCube, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember 4. But then again, I stopped playing Metroid.
And I might be wrong too. I thought there was 2 Metroids that came out on GameCube. So there's Metroid and Metroid Prime 2.
Okay.
So where's the third one? That's interesting. That's very interesting, actually. Okay, so Metroid Prime 4. You know what? It's been a while since I drank. It already slapped me in the face.
Already?
Yes. I just reached another level.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, boys, I might have to slow it down tonight. It's been a while. Well, it's been what? Been about a little over a month since we did our last episode.
It has.
You know, sometimes we got to take a hiatus. Sometimes we got to take a hiatus, you know?
It's okay to do that.
Yeah.
Clear the head.
You know, we enjoy doing what we do. And obviously we want to build the empire, but at the same time, too, you do need a break. You do need a break. So I'm pretty excited about it. But, okay, I'm guessing Metroid 4 Beyond is a new IP.
Why do you say that it's new IP?
Because I didn't see Metroid Prime 4 being anything, unless it was on DS or 3DS. Was Metroid 4 anything before that? Because I looked at the GameCube lineup for Metroid. It was Prime and Prime 2.
Okay.
And I'm not seeing anything any different. So I'm guessing that this is an actual new game. So this is a new installment of Metroid.
We'll have to see what happened. Where did it just disappear?
So get this. Metroid Prime was actually announced in E3 back in 2017. Metroid Prime 4. That's why I'm thinking it's like a game that's already been out.
Yeah. Because we're like, here. Let's see.
So, I mean, I don't know what happened. It was developed by Bandai Namco. And January 19th, Nintendo announced the development had restarted under Retro Studios. So it actually went back to somebody who had already made the Metroid Prime games for the first 3.
Oh, so they kept jumping around. Okay.
So this is actually going to be, it's a new IP.
Oh, good.
Which is nice, because, you know, Metroid, I mean, it's been a while since the last game came out.
It's been a while.
So
Let's see, Metroid Dread 21.
Well, not that one, but in the Prime series.
Okay.
Metroid Dread, a lot of people. Okay. I mean, I guess Dread is the third one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of went back to its roots. I did have Dread at one point. I traded it in like an idiot.
It's okay. I still feel that way about Prime.
You traded it in?
Yeah, when I had the GameCube.
That's right, you dirtbag.
And I had Metroid Prime. No, it's like, dang. But, you know.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happened, you know. What'd you get for that again? I don't remember.
Well, I didn't trade it. I sold it to one of the friends that I know.
For how much?
I think like $100. A GameCube, 2 games, 3 games, controller.
You had Prime. You had the controller. You only had one controller because everything was one player. Everything.
1 or 2.
Yeah. And you had, you whore. You had Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Did I?
Yes, you had Yes, you did. You had Wind Waker, and you had it was the one that also had Ocarina of Time.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
I don't like you. I don't like you at all. Now that I remember that, I'm a little angry at you for even getting rid of that. Because I know that was the only thing I played was Zelda Wind Waker on your thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, boys and girls. Let me tell you this: I would sneak into this man's room while he was gone. Yeah, I'm outing myself right now. God damn it!
I figured things would move. I'm like, hold on, am I going crazy here? Why is this move?
But yeah, I would go in this man's room, and I'd pop in, Wind Waker, and I'd play bits and pieces of Wind Waker when he was at work. Or when I know he was going to be gone for a long period of time. Now, did I take anything out of his room? No, I didn't do that. I wasn't that bad of a brother, but I was bad enough to go into the privacy of his room and play the GameCube. But that's all I wanted to play was the GameCube. That was it. And then, oh God, now it's more memory unlocks. Yeah. So remember when you would play games and I would come and hang out with you? Mm-hmm. The times you would let me come hang out with you.
Sure, come on in.
And then.
I've grown since then. I've learned.
Yeah, I mean, look, you want to know something? Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Eric was an only child before me and Ree came around. Mm-hmm. And Eric was like, nah, bitch, this is my shit. Not yours, mine. So for the longest time, I wanted to fight this asshole for the longest fucking time because he always hogged everything. But at the same time, I didn't understand because I was always in a setting where I was sharing stuff because I had other siblings. He did not. So as I got older, I realized that. And I'm like, you know what? I won't be so hard on him because of that. So when I got kicked out of the room, I never got super mad about it. I would still get upset, but I'm like, you know what? I understand. I still love him. There was no love lost. Mm-hmm. But the times he would do it, I would go ahead and I'd have a pillow and everything and covers and I would lay there. Home. Yeah, like make myself at home. The rule was I couldn't be on the bed. I don't know if that was like, well, you're a boy, you can't be on the bed type thing. Because, we grew up in that era, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I lay on the floor.
God, now I'm just picturing you making yourself fall.
Yeah. And then I would pass out. Pass out watching you play games. And then all of a sudden, I feel in my dream that I'm being shaken. But no, it's just your big ass foot hitting me in the face saying, hey, you can't sleep here. You got to go in your room.
Time to go.
So, yeah, that was... Yeah, GameCube was like one of those things where it's like that's the only time I'm going to play it is when I'm in your room. So that was a good memory of mine when we played the GameCube together. Even though like you only had one controller. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what was the third game? It wasn't Smash Brothers because we didn't have that. We had Smash Brothers on N64.
Right.
I think I have Smash Brothers at the house.
Do you? Okay.
I think so, because I do have an N64. I have an N64. I didn't know if I told you that.
I don't know. I was trying to remember that third game, but I know I had Metroid.
You had Metroid. You had Legends of Zelda with Ocarina of Time.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I remember playing it on the GameCube. I remember vividly playing it on the GameCube. Also, I do remember actually.
Maybe Soul Calibur was another one. Because that's the one that had Link, right?
We had, but we had it on the Dreamcast as well.
Okay.
But the Dreamcast was working at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like pooped out on us one day.
I think so. Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I had it over at Steve's house. Unfortunately, this episode was actually supposed to be our Battlefield episode.
Yeah.
But Steve couldn't make it. Steve's one of my best friends. So Eric had his best friends on for Gran Turismo, and I'm going to have my goddamn best friend on for Battlefield, goddammit.
That's all you.
Yeah.
Only played the one.
Yeah, well, you can ask all the questions you want.
Good.
We're going to be here fucking it up. But yeah, I can't remember the third game you had. The third game. But yes, I do remember good times with the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Great times. Great times. Well, I mean, we're talking about Nintendo stuff. But anyway.
I mean, it feels...
So we are still continuing about Metroid. I remember actually you playing Metroid Prime.
Mm-hmm.
That was the third game. That was the third game, Metroid Prime.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I remember you watching. It was like really, when I was younger, it was like super scary.
Yes, it had that vibe. I was like, oh, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of, I don't know, like I said, at the time I needed to get rid of it, but I was thinking about it. I never finished the game. I was like, it was one like I really wanted to finish.
No, that was one that I wanted you to finish because like every time I would catch it, it would be like I don't know how far you'd be in the game, right? So it'd be like, oh shit, like he's like far in the game. And then that's like my young mind thinking like, oh man, he almost beat it, but you're still like doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was that was a creepy game at some point. But you know, my partner, her son was playing it and he actually does pretty well. He was playing Metroid Prime. We actually still have it at the house. And I didn't get that vibe, but I wonder if he did. I wonder if he got that like
horror, but
not the horror, but it's like the ominous, like
because I think it is raining in the game, I believe.
Yeah, it's in some parts of the game it's raining.
Yeah,
and then you know you have like the corridors and everything like that, and some like large spaces that are enclosed, but
and it's not like you have enemies coming at you
like
fast.
Yeah, they're just like popping up. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd have to ask him that. I really would have to ask him that. But yeah, that was a creepy fucking game growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we got that. Now we're gonna move on here for the list anyway, because I know that there was
what kind of list
there was a list of games that came out on the Switch Direct.
Okay. So before you do that, there's a rumor going around that Halo the Master Chief Collection might be coming to the Switch too.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Xbox.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Xbox saying, hey, everyone can go on every other platform. That is kind of weird after all these years.
Yeah. Like some of these games, like some of the fighting games that we have, right? Like BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, or even the BlazBlue series in general. I think the BlazBlue series was mostly on Xbox and PlayStation, but like PlayStation games that are used for like tournament-based things like fighting games now going on Xbox within the last few years has really blown my mind. Again, PlayStation fanboys here, but at the same time, I'm all for like expanding and getting more people in here. One thing I'm not for though is simplifying things,
right?
To where it's like super dumb.
Yeah.
And I know when growing up, I had to do like quarter circles and full circles and up, down, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right,
Yeah.
left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then now we got
one button,
two button supers, stuff like that. You know, now that I think about it, I think the one button supers are good nowadays. Now that I'm kind of coming around to it, also, it's just simplifying things a little bit more to make the games easier.
Yeah,
but you know, I just got to get out of that mode of like being that old geezer that was like, well. You know, in my day, my thumb was raw from doing quarter circle forwards all the time. You know what I mean? It's like no one wants to do all that. You know what I mean? Just make it easier. And
I get it in that aspect.
Yeah, I was like that with Street Fighter 6. And I was like, oh, get out of jail was a drive Drive Rush, whatever it is, or whatever, or Drive Impact, where it's like, oh, I can like have 3 frames of invincibility and go through someone's move and get a get out of jail free card. Well, I mean, yeah, you can get that, but you can also bait it. You can also watch for it. You can also hear it coming. You just can't be pressing a bunch of buttons in order to get hit. So it's kind of one of those things where when I played Street Fighter 6, when the beta came out, and I was like, man, this ain't it. You know what I mean? But now I realize, like, okay, I get where this is going. We're going for a bigger audience. We're going for something that's more simplified and easier to play, so it's fun.
Yes.
So
it's like all that time I spent learning all these moves and
now
combos.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like now, like playing like Guilty Gear Rev 2 or BlazBlue Centrifiction it's not. I mean, it's fun to me still because I've learned all that stuff, but it's not as appealing anymore. Just because now games are more simpler.
Yeah.
Like for instance, DNF Duel. DNF Duel is a fighting game that's super simple now. 2XKO, which is a new fighting game that's coming out based off of a League of Legends. It's a tag-based fighting game. Very similar to DNF Duel when it comes to the movesets. Like left heavy, right heavy, like down light punch or something like that for like any type of move. It just makes the game easier to play. So I get it. I get it now. Like I used to be that person who was like, oh man, this is stupid. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to be that guy anymore. So I just gotta suck it up and be like,
adapt, overcome.
Yep. One of those things.
I'm right there with you.
But I mean, your Gran Turismo is still never gonna change, so it doesn't matter.
No, they just keep changing the physics. So it's like, now I gotta go back and retune my setup.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like, when are they gonna actually make it? I mean, how different can they change that?
I mean, not much. When you have iRacing out there,
that's what I'm saying.
A set of Corsa, different sims people can enjoy.
So, moving on a little bit. So, another game that I'm pretty excited for. You remember Super R-Type? You know those games, those shoot 'em up games.
Yes.
So Gradius Origins is actually going to be another one coming out. So it's Gradius. It's like Gradius 1, Gradius 2.
Gonna have all of
Salamander 1 and 2, and then it actually has Salamander 3, which is the newest one. So it's got like 6 games on there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. Like the Super R-Types, like Gradius games, were actually really.
I think the only one I played was the second one.
Gradius 2. Yeah. A lot of people liked that one, actually, for the most part. Another interesting one, Tamagotchi Plaza.
Tamagotchi Plaza?
Yeah.
What is this?
Tamagotchi Plaza. Basically, you play with Tamagotchi characters in a shopping plaza.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Wow.
Yeah. It brought you back a little bit, didn't it?
Because I think you and Ree got a Tamagotchi.
Yep. I got the blue one and he got the brown one.
Then Mom got me one.
Did you even use it?
I did.
Okay.
Try to make sure I kept that thing alive.
No. You got a Tamagotchi, I believe. We got the Digimon Tamagotchi.
Well, that was it? Okay.
Me and Ree got the Digimon Tamagotchi. I mean, Mom knew the assignment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you have something different from everybody else. And then me and Ree had the same thing. And as long as we had the same thing, I was like, oh, it's equal. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But no one questioned why you got something different.
I just remember taking it to Grandma's house.
Oh, Grandma.
Yeah.
What you doing, boy? Like, let me tell you something. Bless her soul, first and foremost. Secondly, that woman scared me.
Did she?
Scared me? Yes, she did. She did. She definitely did. I see where Dad gets it from, though. But she, like, every 5 minutes, what you doing, boy? Like,
right.
Nothing, Grandma. I'm just sitting here.
Chilling.
I'm chilling. Like what? I remember that was actually the time where Dad actually started playing GTA with us. I wish he was still into it because he would have loved GTA 5.
Right.
He would have loved it. I remember he played GTA 3 and I remember he'd be like, oh yeah. Remember that the opera song that came on?
Yeah.
For the trailer? And I remember every time it would come on, he'd be like, oh, there's that song again.
That's where that came from.
Yeah. He's like, oh, there it is. He's driving, running into walls and shit. I'm like, yo. All right, Dad, you do your thing. I'm gonna watch you.
Right.
One of the biggest highlights from the Switch Direct was the Pokemon Legends ZA.
Pokemon still alive and kicking.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be very similar to Arceus, which is kind of like an open world, semi-open world type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like based around your character, and you're like, manually throwing Pokemon and stuff like that. It's not, you still have those like one-on-one battles or how many ever battles there was in Arceus, but you have full control of your character. It's not a top down anymore. It's like a third person view, which is pretty cool. I think Pokemon is starting to come a long way with the Legends series for the most part. I know the other ones that have come out every other year were like remakes of like other Pokemons that came on like Game Boy, DS, all the rest of that good stuff.
So what?
Go ahead.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Like, what made them different? Like red or blue or yellow gold or whatever they did.
It's just a different Pokemon you catch.
Okay.
So not every Pokemon was in every game. If that made sense. And then the legends on the Pokemons. Now, I mean, I guess if you look at the newer ones, each legend is on one separate game.
Okay.
So you got the one with the bike tire, and then you got the jet engine. I think that's is that Scarlet and Violet? I think that's Scarlet and Violet. I call it the bike tire, the bike and the jet engine, because that's what they look like.
Yeah,
for the most part. But I think Pokemon's going in the right direction with Legends for the most part. I really do, just because it's different. It's not a top down anymore like the other ones were, and it's giving people that play Pokemon a new perspective on how to catch them, how to be in the environment. A lot of people didn't care for Arceus, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they would play it like, oh, it's a good game, but it's not like the others, Look, man, things change.
Right.
Things change. And I get it. Just like I was saying about the fighting game stuff, where I like when things are complex and you have a whole array of like combo routes that you can do. The simpler, the better.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel that the Legends series is actually a little bit more simpler than the other ones, where it's like top down and all the rest of that good stuff. You go here and you go there. You can actually like see where you're going.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I wanted to point out, because there's a huge audience for Pokemon, obviously, especially with the cards. I was informed by my partner that we had like 25 people at the game store lined up, ready to buy the new Pokemon sets that came out this last Friday.
Oh, wow.
Or yesterday, I should say. Camped in chairs. These motherfuckers here.
It's 2000 all over again.
Camped in chairs? Camped in chairs? Camped in chairs? This shit right here.
Right.
So, now moving on. High on Life.
High on Life.
High on Life. So, that is the Rick and Morty spoof, I guess. The Rick and Morty game.
Okay.
Not specifically Rick and Morty, but voices of Rick and Morty. It's coming on the Switch as well. Just doing some notable things. So this is one that I'm interested in, Saga Frontier 2. I'm the big RPG guy out of all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited for that one. Everybody golfs Hot Shots.
Oh, there's another golfing game.
I mean, no. It's been out for a while. It's been out on PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
So it's just going to be coming to Switch. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. I think kind of like the really noticeable games. I think there's something called Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
That one looked good.
I didn't catch that one. But it's supposed to come out on the holiday. I will give a scroll. It's a beat 'em up.
Yeah, like an updated beat 'em up Marvel characters.
Oh, kind of like Streets of Rage, like 4, Double Dragons Gaiden or something like that. Okay, well then that's something I may pick up, because that's usually a pretty fun game for the most part. Actually, speaking of which, Double Dragons Gaiden, me and Herc our nephew. Herc was actually, I think, not this last summer, but the summer before. We were playing the fuck out of that game. And we would get to the boss and we'd lose every single time. Like, I'm just like, one of these days we're going to do it. I think soon, within the next couple weeks, I'm gonna be like, yo, we need to do this again.
Knock this out.
Yeah. And we're going to beat it. We're definitely going to beat it. That's one thing we're going to do before he goes out to college is beat that. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Switch Direct for the most part. I mean, they had some noticeable games, like I said. Notable games, I should say. But now, again, April 2nd is the Switch 2 showcase, and I'm pretty excited about it. You know, my partner and I are going to be getting Marman involved, and hopefully he can sit down and watch it, and maybe he likes it. I don't know. So, now for the main topic.
The main event.
The crash of 1983. Now, we've been mulling around this topic for a little while, and I think it's about time we do it now that we're so far in to our journey as the gamepad saga, because it is a saga. It's a long journey.
Yes.
So without notes, because Crash of 83 was something that was brought to my attention maybe a couple of years ago. I didn't even know this even existed.
Same here. Even though I was born a year later, but
so when you hear about the Crash of 83, what do you think about that?
Well, first I was like, "What? What do you mean a video game crash? What is this?" And then as I looked more into it, I guess it was just the time. Well, I guess you can say specifically for Atari, it wasn't going well for them.
You know what? Fuck Atari. First off. Oh, wait, hold on. I will love Atari for being involved in making the Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi series. That's the only thing. But fuck Atari after that. Coming out with what, 2600s? That's what it was? The Atari 2600s, and putting a bunch of them out there and not selling. Right. And this happened for 2 years, so 1983 to 1985.
Yes.
But yeah, go on. So in your words, tell me what you thought about that. Well, when you first heard about it.
I was just kind of like, how was that possible? And then now, looking at it in 2025, 2024, are we kind of in the same boat? I mean, I know companies have learned from their mistakes and won't repeat itself, but
history always repeats itself.
That's true. But I think they're better prepared. Like, they're not going to, well, I say that, then you have games like Concord out there and quote unquote losing a bunch of money.
How does that work? How does that work?
I guess it costs them, what, $400 million to make the game?
400 million what? Where's that coming from?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out myself.
So that's all right. So before we go any further into this crash, why does it take so much money to make a game?
I have no idea.
All right. So I'll give an example. I remember watching something on CNN or whatever it was. It was some debate, not debate, but it was like, I call them interrogations because they put someone on the stage and they ask them a bunch of questions. But some guy was saying that bushings, right? I guess those are like things you put in between screws, not screws, but nuts, washers, to make them probably cost pennies, right? Get them from a convenience store, a couple dollars.
$2.
Yeah, $2. A bag of bushings being bought from a military service is like $900.
It's like, where'd all the money go?
First off, not even where all the money goes. Why is it $900? First and foremost, right?
Yeah.
So that comes to the same thing with the video games.
Like, yeah, why
is the software costing so much when you can probably get the same software as a civilian for less? I understand. I get it. People got to make their money.
But that's an absurd amount.
That is asinine.
Yeah.
On how much money that is. I don't get it. I don't get that. But it says here that home video games revenue peaked at around 3.2 million in 1983, then fell around 100 million by 1985, a drop of almost 97%.
It's crazy.
Oh, 3.2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And then went to 100 million.
100 million, yeah.
The crash abruptly ended what is retrospectively considered the second generation of video game consoles, of video gaming in North America. To a lesser extent, the arcade video game market also weakened as the golden age of arcade video games came to an end, which still abruptly leaving. I think the only place that has arcades is thriving is Japan.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless you have like a mom and pop that has like some arcades, like our local arcade shop, Monster Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Monster Arcade. That's not a shameless plug, but that's a good place to go.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So right here, the Atari, renamed the Atari 2600 in 1982, was not the first home system with swappable game cartridges, but by 1980, it was the most popular second generation console by a wide margin. Let's see here. And then you were saying earlier, that there was not a lot of individuality in these games, correct?
Individuality as far as them copying each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. They would just, I guess, make a horrible game. Oh, where we at? No, they would not make a quality product. Like, just keep putting this out there.
So
like, put a copy out of a copy.
Very similar to Sega. When in their second half of their existence on the Genesis.
Between which games?
Remember when we talked about Sega of America taking hold of the games, very similar to that, putting out all these games that aren't good,
mm-hmm.
and Sega kind of started going downhill from then. Now you have all these things where you have the Atari 2600 and the mass amount of fucking systems I got for that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's buying them because the games aren't even up to par. And, we're just touching the surface of this. We're not really like going super deep.
And even then, I think playing video games had a stigma back then.
Yeah, it did have a stigma. It was it the wrong crowd?
Yeah.
The wrong crowd. I want to know what the wrong crowd is. I want to know whoever thought of that. What type of wrong crowd are you bringing? Mm-hmm. You bringing like a bunch of people that are on drugs? You bringing like people who are nerds? You are bringing people who are sophisticated and smart? Like video games is a whole array of people.
Above. Yeah, just people coming out, hanging out, chilling.
So how's that the wrong? You know what? They might have been prejudiced themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just of people in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, video games rot your brain and all that good stuff. Oh, well, there's actually a study out there where video games actually keeps you sharper.
Mm-hmm.
And
keep the hand-eye coordination.
There are people who are 80 years old who still operate at a level of someone who's at 40 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, take that, you pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, I never got that, but people didn't like people playing video games.
So what do you think is very similar to that in this day and age? I know we have a lot of games that are very similar from different companies. There are similarities. I see that, but what are your things that you're pointing that you kind of see in similarity that maybe we might be in a crash or might be coming out of a crash? Because me personally, we're kind of on the brink. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But we still got a ways to go before that happens.
Well, I don't know. I think we have a few things going on. Just, I don't know. I always ask this. I know I was asking you earlier. Like, are they putting effort into the games? Like, we'll take, Shadows? Like, why is everyone so angry, upset with that game?
What? With Sasuke Shadow?
Yeah.
I think that's more between, I guess the big thing is like, what is it? Historical accuracy.
But most of them...
When has... no, go ahead.
Well, doing the research for Battlefield, they weren't... The locations were real, but as far as what happened was not.
No, not at all. You talking about Battlefield 1? Battlefield 5?
Most of them are the ones that use the real locations.
So I to be honest with you, I didn't really follow a lot of the stuff that happened. However, I know I mentioned this on a previous podcast, but I don't know how people are so upset about things being historically accurate when also we've got 343 games. And you know where I'm going with this. With this. And again, not a person that sits here as a Black and Hispanic man talking about, oh, Juneteenth this, Juneteenth that. Like, I didn't even know what Juneteenth was until it was a holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wasn't taught that in school or anything like that. But then 343 Games comes out and calls a call sign or a flag bonobo.
Oh, yes, the bonobo thing.
But that was only talked about for a day. But you have something that's not historically accurate, and everyone's flipping a brick for it. Doesn't make sense.
No,
doesn't make sense at all. We have to understand that video games are something for us to get away, to enjoy, to create memories, not this, oh, it needs to be so accurate. It needs to be this. It needs to be. If you want to do that, go be a historian and go do that somewhere else. Like, don't do that here. And I'm not saying this because I'm drunk. I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Because video games are to create bonds. Even before it was online, it created bonds with your family, dad, mom, whatever. Speaking of Smash Brothers, that was the first time I actually played video games with Mom.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
When she first bought Smash Brothers for us, she sat there and she played video games with us.
That's so cool.
That was the first and last goddamn time that I actually ever played a video game with Mom. And you know what?
Let's check this out.
I cherish that. I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Good.
I remember that day like it was yesterday. Yeah. That was a great memory. Now, did Mom do great? No, she didn't, because she didn't know what the hell she was doing. But she enjoyed playing with us, and that's all that matters.
That's what it's about.
Yes. And, you know, I say all that. I say all that to say this. I mean, there are priorities involved with people's lives, and I get that. But this isn't a priority. This isn't something that you should be harping on Ubisoft about, even though Ubisoft sucks.
Oh, apparently they were just sold to somebody.
Oh, were they? I know they were like getting all over somebody on X, or aka Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays, because that got sold.
Sold to Tencent.
Who got sold to Tencent? Ubisoft?
Yeah.
No way.
And
guess what Tencent makes?
What do they make?
Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero.
So they make some good stuff.
Honkai Impact. Yes, they make very good stuff. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they're going to do next. With all that information that they got from Ubisoft, the software now, they probably have rights to all that stuff.
All the games, yeah.
I'm so curious to see how they're going to do.
Well, finally get a good Assassin's Creed, I guess.
Well, I mean, was Shadows even? No, that was because Shadows was being developed before they got sold. When was this? When did they sell?
With the last week.
Oh, damn.
That's probably why Shadows kept getting delayed.
Probably.
They're trying to figure out, do we release it under us? Or do we wait?
That's actually really cool.
Or they were cleaning it up for whatever reason. I don't know.
That's actually really cool how Tencent Games, because you know what, they've come out with all these like mobile /
oh, they did a bunch of mobile things.
Yeah, okay. RPGs. Like a lot of their mobile games are on PC as well. What's it? Not Tower of God, that's the anime, but Tower of Fantasy is another one they came out with that's on PC and mobile. They're all similar games. They're all like one player, like RPGs, open world, but they're very good games. Very good games. So I'm curious to see what they're going to come out with all that software that they got now. That's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Because they all like, all the games they come out with are like anime games.
Oh, okay. Then, all right.
Oh. So we're going to see.
Have to check them out.
I'm munching on almonds. And I'm still drunk.
Still drunk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So going back to the crash of 83, I guess the rise of home computers contributed to the video game market crashing.
Well, we were part of that then.
Mm-hmm.
We were a part of that. Maybe later on. We were definitely a part of that because a lot of our games were on computer, really.
Were they?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on computer. I mean, we had, well, excuse me, you had a PlayStation and Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Reed and I and you shared the 64.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we had a rotation of systems that we got to play. But in order to be like, I guess, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
From then on, because, I mean, wasn't the internet being created at that time too? Or was it
at least
out?
for the house, yeah.
That was the thing. Like, hey, we need a computer at the house.
Computer, printer.
Right. Definitely a printer and a scanner.
Yes.
Got to have a scanner. Now they got them built all in one.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. Now we're cooking with grease here. Cooking with grease. So you got that. And then a lot of the home entertainment system games were now being on floppy disk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Nintendo, because Nintendo was still fucked up about what Atari was trying to do. You know what? Yeah, Atari is so wrong for what they tried to do. So wrong. Check it out in the Nintendo podcast that we have. But I will say that a lot of the games that were coming out were being replicated on floppy disk.
Mm-hmm.
And if any of you don't know what a floppy disk is, it is literally a disk that flops. It has like a little film in the middle.
It's plastic.
And then
cover.
flimsy. Yeah, flimsy. But then the newer ones were hard.
The hard disk.
But on the top, like if you slide the little aluminum thing at the top there, you can see the film in that too. So it was basically like a disc but in a square. And you popped it into the computer. It clicked in, and you played the game. Oregon Trail.
Oh, Oregon
Bless
Trail.
Dysentery. Thank you.
I was gonna say if you got a game that came with like, I don't know, 2 or 3 installation discs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Was it really? I did not know that. Oregon Trail was 2 floppy disks.
Mm.
Also, my first floppy disk game outside of school, anyway, was Duke Nukem 1, 2, and 3.
Oh my god. I never played Duke Nukem.
Yeah, if you played Doom, you played Duke Nukem.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah. But Duke Nukem on a floppy disk was a little different. It was a side scroller, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was a side scroller.
Oh, okay.
The later games became like Doom, and then it became a third person afterwards.
I never knew that.
Yeah, but Duke Nukem was a side scroller. And super hard to play, mind you, because if you got hit once, you died.
Oh, it was one of those games.
Yeah. I remember Duke Nukem 1, 2, and 3. That was on our first home computer system.
Mm-hmm.
This was, how old was I? I was about maybe 6 or 7, something like that. But yeah, I remember that. Duke Nukem was like, man, you know, how I remember something, but it might not be the right thing.
Yeah.
But I remember it was this though. He had like it was almost like an 80s like rad fucking looking like a suit or something like that, like yellow and blue. I don't know. I'd have to YouTube it, but I do remember that. Those were my first 3 floppy disk games. What was yours?
Oh my gosh. Gotta go to the think tank here.
Outside of school.
Outside of school, I'm trying to think. Floppy disk. Did we have a floppy disk? Because what comes to mind? Did you
have a floppy disk?
No, what comes to mind is I remember getting the computer
and
Dad having, what was it? AH-64D longbow.
That wasn't floppy disk though. That was a disk.
But I don't think we had floppy disk.
Oh, you
had CDs.
You were in the digital age. Excuse me, sir.
96. We got a computer in 96.
Didn't mean to be And the dark ages here, but
did it even come with the floppy disk drive?
Yeah, it did. We just never had games for floppy disk at that time. So if you had Longbow, so it was Longbow, ATF Gold, Interstate 76.
Oh my gosh.
SimCity, SimCopter.
Yeah.
Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Mm-hmm.
I know we had like one or two more. Encarta Encyclopedia. Not a game.
I think they came with the computer.
But goddamn it, that got me through quite a few reports.
Did it?
Yes,
Good.
it did.
So it was useful.
I was the only one that used it because I did my schoolwork.
Everyone did their
Middle
schoolwork.
child syndrome is a thing.
We did have a lot of computer games, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Huh.
There's quite a few more. I can't remember them.
Blood comes to mind. I remember putting the
wallpaper.
Yeah. I put the wallpaper on there. Dad was like, hey, take that off.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad, anything like horror or something like that, Dad was like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. That's exactly how we'd say it too. We're not doing this. We're not. Well, no, we had a bunch of demo discs from PC Gamer.
Thank you, PC Gamer.
Yeah, thank you, PC Gamer. Rest in peace.
Yes. Oh, apparently Game Informer is coming back as well.
Yes, Game Informer is coming back. Actually, this month, beginning of March, 2025, they are coming back. Same group of people, all the rest of the good stuff. That's going to be awesome. But you want to know something? It's no longer the longest running magazine anymore.
Oh no, because they had
that hiatus and they came back. 20 plus years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Unfortunately, I mean, for us OGs, we're gonna be like, nope, this doesn't count. This still is a continuation. But they stopped. They closed their doors, and unfortunately, now they're at year one again. If you want to get any technicalities out of it. Okay, I didn't finish my beer yet. I was so busy talking that didn't sip a beer for a little while. Otherwise, yeah, Game Informer's coming back. So what floppy disk school games did you play in school besides Dysentery? I mean Oregon Trail, sorry.
Let's see. I remember we had this program. I don't remember what class it was, but we got to work with Legos. So something related to that. Then I remember we had this game. You'll plug in like commands. You're like, here, turn 90 degrees this way or go this way.
Really?
Yeah. I forget what it was called.
Sounded like some type of, I don't know.
Yeah, but you're plugging commands. I forget what it was called.
Okay, what else game? What other game?
I think that was it. My generation didn't do a lot of playing games on computers.
Hey, we didn't either. So don't get too testy, sir. All right? We didn't do much either. All right? We played Dysentery. And it was dysentery.
That's it.
And it was more dysentery. All right?
Yeah.
We were trying to get across Oregon.
I think I made it across the river once.
I always died at the river.
Yeah.
I always died at the river. Oh, okay. What do you got? Did you make it across? No, I never made it across the river.
I made it across so many times.
I suck at the game then.
It was my only game.
Fair.
Maybe it was a male-female thing. I always died.
I always died too.
Females always made it across. That was always weird.
Well, maybe that's just a sign saying that we don't make the right decisions. And that's why we have to have our partners in our lives.
Yeah.
Because God forbid we could be out here doing bush hop.
Yeah.
You know, hi, my name's Kishion and this is Jackass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know we only touched a little bit on Crash of 83, but I mean, it definitely put a damper on entertainment for a little while.
Oh, yeah, some video games was, yeah. The market out there with low quality games.
But it's kind of, I would say this year is a bit different because, you know, we talked about the Switch games already. But the last You know what? I would say the last 5-6 years, ever since the current gen consoles came out, we haven't had too much of anything super great, right?
No.
It's been a lot of the same stuff, different day type thing. It's been a lot of...
You think it's companies trying to play it too safe?
That, and then I also think that there's companies that just don't care.
Then why would they be in business?
I think it's just people that just don't care. I mean, not people, but companies that don't care, just want the money. A lot of companies that have
coming in.
Yeah, a lot of companies that have what's the word? Battle passes, DLC. Well, DLC is different. But battle passes.
How can we keep getting money out of players monthly?
What's the other thing? I think battle passes, live service.
Yeah. I think
live service.
Last I heard, PlayStation wanted 12, but then they cut that back to 6. And you can't make every game a live service game.
No, you can't. You can't. And unfortunately, it's working because I'm caught in that with Call of Duty and Apex Legends. And
certainly, like the Battle Royale, I can see that.
Yeah, that
for the multiplayer aspect, for the ones who won't enjoy the single player, I guess you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, and I'm a big multiplayer guy. I like hurting people's feelings. And I get my feelings hurt too. Like, I know I'd run across a lot of cheaters, and everybody's like, "Oh no, not everybody's cheated." Nope, everybody's cheated. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Y'all can put in the comments like, "Oh, Sean, you're being a bit extreme." Nope, I'm not. I'm not, because at least when I play Call of Duty, at least 1 or 2 times a day, I run into a cheater. No, I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm not saying that there's people that are not good. There's some people that I see that, okay, you got me, right? You've bested me. And I'm okay with that. But when I see, like, shit's not right, yeah, I'm calling it.
That's when it's no fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't big on PvP, but I get the appeal because we know that the AI isn't always the greatest that these companies create. So it kind of leaves you, I don't say a difficult experience, but wanting challenging.
Sorry, I'm fiddling with the box right now and I'm trying to get a burr. Let me make a loud noise real quick. Yeah, God damn it. Yeah. Help me, please. My hand's stuck. I got it. Anyway, as you were saying, beer number 2.
I get the appeal of the multiplayer games because we know the AI that's for the single player isn't the greatest, and kind of wants you to have a more challenging experience. So
I like hurting people's feelings. That's all I know. That's all I know. But yeah, I don't know. My thing is that after Elden Ring, how many other games that were like Souls-like that came out?
Nothing yet. When did Elden Ring?
What you mean?
2 years?
What you mean? Like 2-3 years, 2.5 years. What you mean? You got Liza P.
Okay.
You got
I haven't followed
the new Berserker game that just came out. You got what are some other games like Wukong.
That's right. But that's what I hear. People enjoy those games.
They do, and not every game that like Souls-like is the same, right? But it's the same genre.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
We have open world. We have so many open world games. Again, not that they're bad games, but we have so many of them. We have, we have very little fighting games. Very little. But a lot of the fighting games that are being made, a lot of them are small scale and not popular. So a lot of people don't really flock to that. Sports games, well, they're all the same.
Hold on. Go back a little bit. So what do you mean small scale?
Small scale meaning like lesser, like single A, double A companies are making these fighting games. For instance, them fighting herds, right? That's not a AAA game. That is at least a AA game, at least. And for it to be at one of the biggest, and I know a lot of people are probably going to get upset with me, and I'm okay with that because I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make friends, don't get me wrong. I'm here to make friends, but I know things that I say a lot of people aren't going to agree with, and that's
Yeah.
fine, because that's the great thing about speech, that you don't have to agree with me, or you can. It's okay. Them fighting herds is like basically little animals that you use fighting. I think a lot of like horses, rabbits, whatever. I've only like caught like a
What?
glimpse. Yeah.
What?
See, I already lost you. I already lost you.
No,
Right?
I'm trying to picture.
Like little horses. But look it up. Look it up.
All right.
Little horse. Them fighting herds. Right?
Yeah.
How is that on the biggest fighting game stage of the world at Evo? At 1 year, at one time it was. How does that work?
Because they probably paid a lot of money to have their game
either that,
featured.
And then also,
It's different.
it is different. It is different for sure. You see it, right?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Well, riddle me this. A lot of people that I have in my Discords that I'm in, right? No one plays that damn game. Nobody plays it. But it was one of the big featured games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but no, you know what I mean? So fighting games are a bit different when it comes to that. Like, that's what I mean by like smaller scale fighting games. Because it's pretty simple. It has some depth to it, right? I'm not saying it doesn't have depth.
Mm-hmm.
It has some mechanics to it that you have to follow, and has some brain power that you have to use. But aesthetically, and just in a complexity sense, in type of like tournament play, that isn't a game you would normally see.
No.
You know what I mean? So fighting games are a bit different, and I think that's still an untapped market when it comes to fighting games. That's why I'm excited for 2XKO, which is a newer game based on League of Legends characters, like I said before. It's a tag-based game.
Mm-hmm.
So I love tag-based games. That means it's fast-paced. It means that I have to like literally think like 4 or 5 steps ahead of you before I even like do my first move.
Right.
That's why I like tag-based games, because it's faster. I mean, you got sports games, which, you know, the same every year.
Yeah. Hopefully
You've got 50 million different platformers.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been anything that has actually stood out. You have RPGs, right? So you have open world RPGs that, you know, are hack and slash. You got RPGs that are turn-based. You have RPGs that are story-based, more or less than anything, i.e., what's the one I just got not too long ago? One of my favorite series, Melty Blood. So Melty Blood is a fighting game, but what's the name of it? Lord of Mercy. It's one of my favorite like anime series of all time, and I can't even think of it. Not Garden of Sinners, but Tsukihime. There you go.
Okay, Tsukihime.
So basically, the story of Tsukihime is all the Melty Blood games.
Mm-hmm.
But each Melty Blood game takes place at different timelines. Or not different timelines, but different parts in time. But then the new Tsukihime that came out, Type Lumina, is a prequel to all the other ones that came out. So it's kind of an RPG, but not at the same time. You know, you don't have like growth stats or anything like that, but it's just a novel based. There you go. But there's not very many of those either. Actually, no, I take that back. There's quite a few of those. You have Digimon.
At least not in the American market anyway.
Not in the American market, but there's a lot of them over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got the Digimon story, I think it is. You got, what's the other one that was really popular? I can't remember. But it's like basically you have like these schoolgirls and they're all like really nice to each other and stuff like that. And there's that one
Girls nice to each other
that literally kills everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just goes around killing everybody. Like anything you try to do, she's still killing people. And it was like a horror based one. It was actually really good from what I heard. Doki Doki Literature, that's what it's called. So you have a lot of those out there too.
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to have something like super different? Everything just seems the same. Like it's not mechanically the same, but the premise is still the same.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, they did that, so we have to do that too.
Right. Or we'll just add another feature.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at some point, if nothing changes, we're probably going to enter that again. I think we're not there yet, but we're on the brink of it happening.
Yeah. Curious to see where we go. You know, already talks of PlayStation 6 coming out.
What do you mean talks of it? They announced that. I mean, they confirmed that back in 2021.
Yeah. Just what are they going to do with those games, you know? I mean, there's still people out there without a PS5. Are they still going to continue to make games with PS4?
I would hope not.
You know, like
I would really hope not.
Because I feel that held a lot of games back. They continue when they do that.
Prime example, Gotham Knights.
That come on what?
Series X, Series S, PS5. Yes, Siri. Whatever you said, yes. But
it's a little scary. I was like, where'd that go from?
Yeah. So that's Siri came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So thank you, Siri, for even offering yourself to me and saying yes. I appreciate it. But one of the biggest things why people did not like Gotham Knights is because it was only ran at 30 FPS, which I don't know why that was a huge thing, but it is. Because we have all this technology that can run all these games in 60 FPS, but it was only ran in 30.
Yeah.
And you want to know why it was ran in 30?
Because of the previous hardware?
No, because of the Series S. Because the Series S is that why it's ran in 30 FPS. So every single system that had Gotham Knights only ran at 30 FPS.
Gosh. Wonder what that conversation was like. We can't make it anymore.
Well, I mean, having the Series S was not the best thing possible. I understand. Okay, yeah, we want to go ahead and make it so that it is affordable to people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're already spending $300,
drop the extra 100, call it a day,
and you already got to maybe buy another digital game, which is another $70.
Mm-hmm.
Another controller, depending on if you're buying it for your kids. You've already spent enough for a Series X. You might as well have gotten that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having a Series S, for me, it would work for me because I want one to be able to play all my 360 games I've purchased.
Mm-hmm.
But feasibly, I'm just going to buy a Series X because that's going to be better. And if I would decide to want to start collecting on the games on that, I know I have something that can run things at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So would I go with lesser? No, typically not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
The best of the best, baby.
Yeah, might as well. If I'm already spending the money, I might as well just spend it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm spending that money. But that's one thing I don't understand. It's like, oh, I'm already spending $400 or $500 on the PS5, but I don't need a game right now. That makes no fucking sense. I mean, when I work at the game store, I see that all the time. And so I'm like,
so what are they going to do?
I mean, you can get the free games like Apex Legends or something like that, right?
Yeah,
or Warzone.
Free to play. Yeah.
But you put in Warzone, I mean, that's already like 3/4 of your space anyway. So you might as well get something that's going to be smaller.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, I just never understood that. Never got that at all. Never got that. But that's just me. I get a PS5 and no games. But yeah, we're on the brink.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely on the brink.
That reminds me. When I got the PS4, there wasn't really any games that I was feeling at that time. But I did end up getting Battlefield 4. Just because I needed something. I just wanted to play something.
One of the greatest shooters ever. I mean, we're going to get the Battlefield series soon. We're going to get that episode soon. We just got to get Steve here.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's pivotal. He's pivotal in this Battlefield.
Okay, good.
Series here. Or the episode anyway. He's got to be pivotal because I got into Battlefield like around Battlefield 3. I played Modern Combat on 360.
So, okay, I was going to say that was around 360.
Yeah, because Dad got it.
Did he?
Yeah. And I'm like, man, this ain't all that great. But that's where I kind of started. And I'm not going to get any more because I'm going to save that for the episode.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at gameplay. I was like, maybe I would have enjoyed this.
No, Battlefield 4 is great. Battlefield 3 and 4. What? Countless countless memories of that game, countless time. I think I might Battlefield 4. I'll just do Battlefield 4 alone. I put in over 3,000 hours.
Oh my gosh.
On Battlefield 4.
That's crazy.
How long is 3,000 hours? How many years is that? Sis is about to calculate that. Hold on one second.
That's okay. That's almost like F1 Manager 22 for me. Because it shows you how many hours you play the game on PlayStation.
120.
I put in almost half a year on Battlefield 4.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. Steve put in more.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put in 3,000, I'm pretty sure you put in like 5. That's not including the time I had it on 360 and he had it on PS3.
That's right.
That's not including that. So I probably really did put in half a year on that game. And he put in a little bit more. But again, for a different episode.
All right.
But I need to shout out everybody and see, like, in the comment section, what do y'all think about the crash of 83? And also, are we close to that?
Mm-hmm. Let us hear your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, that's all I got, baby. All I got. The nephews are birthing again. Quit birthing.
Thank you, listeners, for listening to us, making it this far. But we'll check you out. Can't talk.
That's all right. We'll check you out later.
Check you out later on the next episode.
I ain't calling you for dinner. Although you're more than welcome to come by.
Come on down.
Later. Till next time.
Peace.